Hello Year 1 and Year 2. This week's whole class read is called Those Shoes, and it's by a woman called Maribeth Boelts, and the pictures are drawn by somebody called Noah Z. Jones. Now this book explores how it feels when you feel left out and how it feels when you belong. So it's quite an interesting one. Let's have a go. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, 2 white stripes. This looks like a big billboard, a big advert on the wall, and it says, "Buy these shoes." You can see they're black high tops with 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here. Just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. Maybe those trainers aren't very good for winter. They might not be very warm or waterproof. Brandon T comes to school with those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now, not me. I was always the fastest runner before those shoes came along. So they're quite cool, they make you run fast, it seems. Nate comes into school with those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day, just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow. Sounds like he's showing off a little bit. Next, Alan Jacobi and Terence each get a pair. It looks like lots of people have those shoes. Then one day, in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Alfie, the guidance counsellor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size. Velcro, like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid ever watched. I think they look a bit young for him, a bit like baby shoes. It's a bit sad. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacobi takes one look at my Mr. Alfie shoes and laughs. And so do Terence, Brandon T and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Alfie." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes, and my grip is so tight on my pencil I think it might bust. You can really see that he can't think about anything else except the shoes. It's not very kind of them to laugh, is it? On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much. I got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough, you never know." At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. "Maybe they wrote it down wrong," I say. Grandma shakes her head. "Do you think they're too expensive?" Then I remember the thrift shops. A thrift shop is like a charity shop in America. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his and got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes, except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third thrift shop. I see something in the window. Black shoes with 2 white stripes. High tops. Perfect shape. $2.50. Those shoes. My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. How exciting, Grandma says. "What size are they?" I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. "I don't know, but I think they fit." "Do you think they fit if he's having to curl his toes?" Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of the shoe. "Oh, Jeremy," she says, "I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit." I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. "They're okay," I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money, and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. Oh, he really wants those shoes, even if they hurt. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet shuffling around in my 2 small shoes. "Sometimes shoes stretch," I say. Grandma gives me a hug. Oh, I can see that he likes dinosaurs as well. I know some children who like dinosaurs. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Alfrey's to school instead. One day, during maths, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up, and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. I wonder what he's thinking about. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoe smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. I wonder why these parts are in italics and this one is not. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. "How come you won't wear them?" Antonio asks. I shrug. That means his shoulders go up and down. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I am awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. At school, Antonio is smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere there is snow. "Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots," the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall? It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots. New black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. "Let's race!" That's the end of the story. It's a really interesting one to think about. Do you think your shoes really matter? Or do you think it's the kind of person that you are? How kind you are, how thoughtful you are, how friendly you are? Something interesting to think about, isn't it? See you next time. Bye.